What's goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it up, Bowberry Biscuit. I have no idea how to feel about all this news surrounding the Carolina Panthers because, keep it real with you, it's been a minute. I can't even remember the last time the Panthers got this much national attention from sports media. It seems like the Panthers have been connected to just about every single free agent quarterback news this whole offseason. And the offseason hasn't even been going on for very much of any time at all. But keep it real with you, Super Bowl was just a few days ago. The real offseason really just started. But for most other teams that don't have a 48-and-a-half-year-old quarterback and a team full of chokers who let down Patrick Mahomes, we've been in the offseason for a minute now. Now, the Panthers have been connected to everyone from Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson. We've been hearing things about other players here and there. Will the Panthers go out and sign a quarterback in the offseason? Are we going to draft a quarterback? What are we going to do with our draft picks? We heard the Texans wanted 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and defensive young players who are starter level. Come on now, bro. That's not a real... Look, come on. Be more realistic. You need to go ahead and lower your expectations because everyone knows Deshaun Watson does not want to stay. What you're asking is way too high, and I promise you, you will not get that. All right? But this newest news that I just saw, as you can see right here from the ESPN NFL page, said top 50 free agent landing spots by Jeremy Fowler. Number 1 on the list is Dak Prescott. He says best fit to the Carolina Panthers. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I was extremely shocked when I saw this news. I said, hold up. There's just no chance on earth the Panthers are getting this much attention. Like, even if it was the best fit, you wouldn't hear them talk about the Panthers. They would make sure to go to the second best fit just to speak on a different team because ESPN and national sports media in general hates talking about the Panthers. So it's a little bit strange to me that they actually remembered us because we also had a pretty bad year. Like, why would they actually even talk about us right now? It's wild to me, honestly. But Dak Prescott is a very, very interesting prospect for the Panthers, one I don't hate, but one that does come with a few red flags and a few question marks that, you know, makes it kind of a toss-up. I'll give you my full thoughts on Dak Prescott as I go along some of these other articles surrounding him and his possible signing with the Carolina Panthers. Now, as we all know, Dak Prescott is the quarterback of the Cowboys for how much longer? Who knows? He was a 4th-round pick, did not get paid his money after his 3rd year in the league. Dak was a quarterback who, I think, year after year looked better and better. He looked good his rookie year, but his numbers didn't really reflect that. But we all know if you're a quarterback in this league and if you're a team in this league, if you believe you have your franchise quarterback, you have to extend him before the last year of his contract. There's no way of doing that. You have to extend your quarterback before the last year of his deal because it's hard to find quarterbacks in this league. You see every single year there's very, very good quarterbacks who come out. There are busts, there are misses every single year. There are quarterbacks who start off really hot. There are quarterbacks who end up Rookie of the Year, MVP, make it to the Super Bowl. You don't win the Super Bowl and you don't get anything out of them. There's guys that get injured. There's a lot of things that happen with quarterbacks. It's very, very hard to find your dude, but when you find him, you have to pay him. The Cowboys did not believe in Dak Prescott. Put him on the franchise tag. I believe it was $31.4 million for this season on the franchise tag. And you just knew Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, their relationship was already shot, okay? There's no way the Cowboys and Dak Prescott were ever going to come to an agreement. Now, it was said at the time that they had a deal in place. They just had to get the particulars down and whatnot. It was rumored that Dak wanted more money. It was also rumored that Dak wanted the standard amount of money, but wanted less years on his contract because, you know, the media deal was coming back up and the cap room was supposed to rise. That was before coronavirus, and this year is probably going to go down. But I'm pretty sure that in the future, after this season, it's probably going to go right back up on track because ratings weren't really all that bad outside the Super Bowl, honestly. But Dak Prescott was a player who was looking pretty decent. I'll get into his stats and the context of that in just a second. But as we all know, week 5 of this season, Dak Prescott, I don't know how to put it other than that. That man foot went one way, his body went that way, and I don't know. It got twist turned and tangled up. I don't know what happened. This man had a compound fracture and obviously a dislocation of his right ankle. All right, his foot did not look good. We saw Kyle Allen for the Washington football team have something very similar happen to him later on down the road, but that was a gruesome injury. It was gruesome. It was hard to watch. He was on a franchise tag, which already just goes ahead and throws out any future negotiations with him and the Cowboys. They did him dirty. Obviously, they bet against him and they won, but now they have Andy Dalton and they don't have any other quarterback behind him. So what are you going to do, Cowboys? I'm going to let them worry about that. Anyway, Dak got hurt, got the season-ending surgery, and then, a little known fact, he actually got a follow-up second surgery at the early part of December just to clean up his ankle a bit more, make sure all the other bones and muscles were reinforced and whatnot, get a clean-up situation there. And he's had 2 different procedures on that foot. Now, I think he's probably good to go. That injury happened at the very, I wouldn't call it the very beginning of the season, but week 5 was a month and a half into the season. He's had a long time to recover. Now, we have had our few years of having a quarterback rehabbing instead of working out and getting better, trying to catch back up. So I would say an injury right there to a quarterback who wasn't exactly a running quarterback, but he was mobile. I would say I'd have a little bit of a red flag there. The dude's ankle got turned around, but it's not like we've never seen a quarterback or a player come back from an injury like that. That was more of a bone issue. I think that he should be good. Whether or not he has the same speed and mobility, I would like to see. I want to see him pass the physical, obviously. But you can see his stats right here. He's never really been a very strong runner of the football. In his first 4 years, he didn't ever even crack 1,200 yards. Well, he barely cracked 1,200 yards in his first 4 years in the league. 282 rushing in his rookie season, 357, 305, and 277. You would never confuse him for a running quarterback, although he did have 21 rushing touchdowns. So there is value in his legs and him being able to pivot and him being able to juke and whatnot. But what he really does is that he's a very mobile quarterback who keeps his eyes upfield while he's rolling out. He's not going to run the ball very, very often, but he does use his legs in his game, and he does have the threat to use his legs. So I really want to know how that ankle looks, how it feels, and how he moves before potentially signing him. But in this article right here from thescore.com, it talked about how the Cowboys are going to make a push for Dak and will use the tag again if they can't sign a deal. It says the Cowboys have no intention of letting Dak Prescott hit the open market. This is wild to me. This to me says that if the Cowboys cannot get Dak to sign a long-term extension, and keep in mind, he wanted a 4-year deal a year ago. Let's not pretend like he's going to sign a 4-year deal now. It's probably going to be a 3-year deal. Honestly, he probably wants a 3-year deal. It was never about the number of years on the contract. It was about the number of years that was going to be until his next contract. So 4 years now would be really a 5-year deal if you count the franchise tag year. He's probably looking for a 3-year deal. You're not going to get him for those 5 years you really wanted him, Cowboys. Keep it at that. And plus, the bad blood between him, you've seen how his brother talked about the Cowboys, it's already done. So they said they are willing to use the franchise tag on him again. The franchise tag for a quarterback in his second tag would be $37.7 million. For all of you math surgeons out there, do you realize the Cowboys would have been willing to spend $69 million on Dak Prescott over 2 years? Over 2 years without having him down long term? That's $35 million each year. You probably could have just went ahead and signed him after his 3rd season for much less than that. That was what, 2-3 years ago? You could have signed him for way less. They dropped the ball on this. But think about this. Dak does not have to sign that franchise tag. He don't got to sign it. So if the Cowboys looking to try to trade him, he has to sign the franchise tag first. And there's no reason for him to even try to sign that tag. Why would he help the Cowboys out? Why would he? He can be a free agent today. Dak Prescott can be, in March, but he can be a free agent, okay? Which means Dak Prescott has a little bit more value, if healthy, than Deshaun Watson or even Matt Stafford. Because with Dak Prescott, even though we can look at in 2019, he had great numbers, right? 2019, he had some of the best numbers I've ever seen in my life. 4,900 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That sounds all good and great and all, but they went 8-8. In a lot of the games they lost, the score looks a lot closer than it really was because the game was over in the third quarter and he was able to get, those cleanup garbage time kind of yards and those kind of stats. We all understand what Dak has done in the past couple years. Get down big and then stat pad, honestly, not to the same degree as maybe a Matt Stafford or a Kirk Cousins, but look, we understand what Dak Prescott has done, but we have also seen him have the ability to make every throw, not be scared to make those throws, and make those throws both in the pocket and on the run, which is what I like to see at every single level. Dak Prescott is capable. Now, whether it was coaching, environment, or whatever it was, I think Dak Prescott has shown he's a top, 8-ish, maybe 7-ish, maybe even 6-ish quarterback in the National Football League. And if you can acquire him without having to give up picks, if what these draft experts are talking about is true and is real, if what they're talking about saying that that Penei Sewell might fall to number 8, if you can get an all-world tackle, now you're not going to be able to keep Taylor Moton. Maybe you can go ahead and try to franchise tag him. I don't know how you can franchise tag him and then pay Dak Prescott what he's going to want. You're probably going to have to let Taylor Moton go. But if you're able to get Penei Sewell and then work on your O-line as well later on in the draft or even in free agency, with Dak Prescott in his first year, you can make a couple moves. C-Mac's going to be back. The whole defense is going to be a lot better. First of all, everyone's going to get older. That's going to look a lot better. You still have DJ. You still have Robbie. I mean, I think that Ian Thomas can still be good if a quarterback actually looked his way and threw it to him. If you believe our tight end problem was a problem with the tight ends, you were not watching the games. I think Dak Prescott could easily be a huge upgrade because this team, even without C-Mac, even without KK, this team could have had a winning record if we had a winning quarterback. Simple as that. And Dak Prescott really does open up the door to allow us to do that. Now, it would take a few weird things happening. Obviously, Dak would have to not sign the franchise tag, which means the Cowboys could not go ahead and trade him. But if he gets franchise tagged and does not sign it, then he would have to hold out. Would the Cowboys just cold let him walk? Would they just let him go? Would they make him sit out the full season? I don't know. Will they cut their losses? I feel like it's going to be a really, really bad situation. They're not going to be able to re-sign him. I have no doubt in my mind they are not going to be able to re-sign him. And even if they are able to get him to sign the franchise tag, everyone knows he is out of there. You're just not going to be able to demand a lot in trade assets to get rid of Dak Prescott. Everyone knows he wants to be gone. Dak Prescott could easily become a Carolina Panther. And if you're able to get him, if the Cowboys actually just cold cut him and he's a free agent, all we have to do is pay Dak Prescott. And if this team can get Penei Sewell at number 8, you made some moves. I mean, honestly, forget that. You could even trade down in the draft, pick up more players, maybe get Slater, maybe get some other O-linemen. If you give him at least 3 solid O-linemen with our weapons and Omar Bayless coming back and our defense only getting better, maybe you make some moves on defense as well. This could be a 9, maybe even 10-win team right here. And 10 wins can make the playoffs in the NFC next year. I would 100% believe it. And you've already seen what Dak does in the pros. Like, you might like Trey Lance. You might like Zach Wilson. You might like even Justin Fields. Whoever you like in the draft, you have to understand that all you're looking at is their college film and hoping and praying and projecting and crossing your fingers that they are going to be good in the NFL. We've seen a bunch of dudes look like gods at the college level and then go to the pros and be average at best, garbage tier at worst. So, and none of those guys, between Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, any of those dudes, Justin Fields, any of those dudes, none of them look like gods. None of them look like they were like the best of the best of the best we ever seen. Even in this season alone. So you know what you're going to get out of Dak Prescott. He's been good in the league. He's been great at points in the league. He's gotten stats here and there. I think Dak Prescott could be a really good pickup for this Panthers team. But it's going to take this Panthers team really looking at the physical, deciding if they want to deal with a quarterback who is going to be rehabbing more so than is going to be, working out and getting better and progressing. He has to catch back up. It all depends on how OTAs works, how training camp works. Will there be a preseason? I kind of want to see Dak work out this training camp, this offseason, you feel me? But Dak could be really good. Dak could be what we need in Carolina, and there would be no ands, ifs, or buts. You have your franchise guy. I think we all understand that Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback, for sure a top 10 quarterback, and a wild upgrade on Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, damn, if it takes us first and Teddy to get Dak, then sure. Get Teddy off our books. Sure, we lose a first rounder, but it is what it is. That's what I would trade, because I know the Cowboys have to get rid of him. The Cowboys just don't have a lot of leverage in this situation at all. And I do mean at all. So Dak Prescott potentially becoming a Panther this offseason? I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it, and I also would not say no to it. I'm cool with that. Maybe even more so than Deshaun Watson, because you don't have to give up so much. You give up your potential to build around Deshaun Watson, and you have to cross your fingers and hope and pray that Scotty Fitt is able to build a roster around Deshaun Watson with thirds and fourths for the next 2 years. Dak Prescott, you don't have to give up very much outside of cap room, and you're still able to build around him. I don't know about y'all, but I'm 100% down with that. That's how I feel about it, man. What are your thoughts on Dak Prescott, the Panthers? Should we go after a free agent quarterback? Should we go after someone in the draft? Who do you like the most in the draft? And do you think they're going to be better than Dak Prescott? And why? Let me know why you think that. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.